Okay, so our next one we're doing is uh, the Polar Lights project recipe, but it's using the Flurries of Fun paper pack. And I just thought this was so fun. So what you're going to need are two background papers. So I'm using both of these from the Flurries of Fun paper pack. I'm using this red one, with like the icicles on the back, and this blue striped, blue and white and red striped, I love it, with the dark blue on the back, and a piece of white shimmer paper. Okay, so I'm going to put the background pages out of the way. And the first piece we're going to cut is the one that's going to go down the middle here. So it's going to be this one down the middle. It's going to be a piece on the right-hand side on the right page and a photo mat. So whichever piece you want to use for that, that's what we're going to cut first. Okay, so first you want to cut a 4 by 12 inch piece. And now you're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut a second one, which is 4 by 12. Okay, and this last piece, we're going to turn and cut in half at 6 inches. And this will be the photo mat for that other side. And we won't use that other 6-inch piece. Okay, the next piece is going to be all of these little triangles here, these two photo mats, these two triangles, and this piece. So now mine is directional, so I want to make sure that I'm going to cut it the right direction. So I think these pieces are 4.5 by 6, and that's the direction I want. So I'm going to cut two pieces at 1.5 inches. I'm going to cut it from this side. 1.5 inches by 12. And I'm going to cut a second one. Okay. Then I'm going to cut a 4.5 inch strip by 6.5. Now this is going to be kind of tricky. I think I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut it at 6.5 because the bottom piece needs to be bigger. Okay, so that's 6.5. And now I'm going to cut it at 4.5, which should cut it right down the middle. And it did. Okay, so these will be photo mats. This piece is a 5.5, and then we're going to cut it at 8. Okay, and we're not going to use this little piece. Now these two pieces, I'm going to stack them, and I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to cut them at 4 inches. And I'm going to do that one more time. Okay, and so we need 4 of these. So Here's 2 and 4, and we won't need these. We can use that on something else later. Now I'm going to stack these again. These are all going to be cut the same way. I'm going to cut them from the top left to the bottom right. You can cut them individually if you'd like. It's just easier for me to just cut them all together. Just hold them tight. So to make sure I'm cutting right from the edge, I'm going to pull this down and make sure it's going to start right there on the corner, and pull this one up and make sure it's going to cut right on the edge here. Make sure I didn't move the top. Okay, I'm going to start in the middle, but sometimes when you go from the top, you're going to bend the corner of that. Okay, so now we've got these pieces. Then we're going to take the cardstock, or the white shimmer paper, and I'm going to cut a 4 by 12 inch strip. I'm going to turn that and cut it at 6 inches. And then I'm going to cut a 3.5 inch strip. And I'm going to cut 2 3.5 inch squares. There's 1. There's 2. And we won't need the rest of that. And then I'm going to use the Snow Pals border punch. And I'm going to punch 2 12-inch borders with this punch. Okay, so just a reminder, when you put your paper in, if you want to take your paper and move it to the right, you'll line your paper up with this black line. If you want to move it from the right to the left, you'll line it up with this line right here. Okay, then once you've punched it, you pull the paper over and you match, you cover up completely the blue, matching what you've already punched. And we need to cut 2 of these. So I'm going to go from the left to the right. Make sure the paper's all the way at the back of the border on this side. Okay, now I'm going to cover up all the blue right here. Punch it again and gently move it over and do that all the way across. Okay, there's 1. And we'll do that a second time. It did say to punch the borders first, but I just find it's easier to just do this with the remaining piece of paper and get the rest of it, the photo mats and stuff, cut first. And we have that piece left over. All right, so we're done with our cutting and we can start assembling the page. Okay, I'm going to start with the left-hand page first. I'm going to need one of these 4 by 12-inch pieces, and this needs to go in the center of the page. So I'm going to adhere it down. Okay, so to make sure it's in the center, I need to make sure that the paper is at the 8 and the 4 here at the top of my mat. And then it goes straight down. It's not going straight. To the same measurements on the bottom. Okay. Now, let me measure where I put the border pieces. I need these triangles. Like this. And I had that one at the 3-inch and this one at the bottom. Okay. And I found it was a little bit easier if I got my ruler out and just lined it up across the page to help me keep these in line. So I'm going to put the first one on here. And I'm going to put it right, the tip of the bottom of this triangle right at the corner of the page. And align it right, it's hard to see with that dark, right along the edge, right here. So that's not really an exact measurement. It's not quite 1.5 inches up on the page. So I'm just going to put my ruler right across here so that I've got it measured the same distance. There we go. So it's straight. And one more. Okay. Now, these other pieces, this one's going to go right at the 3-inch mark. It's going to go right here. So I'm going to put this at the 3-inch mark across and just line them up that way. Okay, and that's the hardest part of this. Next, we will take one of our snowmen and put some adhesive on him. Let's see, I'll use the repositionable on top. And then he just gets centered right, or they could just get centered right down the middle here. Okay, now these are going to go on the other page. And I need the 4x6 photo mats. Actually, I think these are bigger. I think these are 4.5 by 6.5. These are 4x6. And they're going to go right in the center of these. And then I think I kind of just put these about where I like them. They're about a 1/2 inch from the top on each side here. And they're about an inch, not quite an inch in from the edge. That's where I'm going to put these for now. Okay, there's one. And the other one. Right there. I don't want to stay down. Stay down. Okay. Now this part of the triangle is sticking off the side. I'm just going to trim it here. And we've got that page done. All right, so now we're going to do the right-hand side. We're going to take the 4-inch piece here, and it's going to go right down the right-hand edge. Okay, and we have this piece that I put down about an inch from the top.
How are you? Relax.
And it will go right in between the edge of the paper and the other 4-inch piece that we just put on there. Right there. We have this photo mat that goes down on the bottom-ish area. About right here. And then we still have these to put on here. So this is the bottom. And I'm just going to put the bottom tip right on the bottom of the paper right there and line it straight across. And then this one is going to go up on the 3-inch mark. Or the 9 on that side there. And just line it straight along the right edge of the page. Okay, and then we just need a 4-inch piece of this. So, let's see, which side do I want to use? I'll just trim a 4-inch piece off of here. Put some adhesive on in the back of him. And stick him right in the middle here. Okay, and then the last 2 pieces are just going to be these other little photo mats that will go right here. Not right there. There's one. And the second one. Okay, and then from there you can add some stickers or other embellishments that you'd like. I'm going to cut the edge off of this triangle. I think I'm going to do the same thing with this one. It's just kind of sticking out there. Okay, but isn't this cute? I just love this. I just thought this was one of the most fun pages. So I'll go ahead and stop the recording.